Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel again. It's still Dr. STM, and today I am bringing to you story. Well, this is a not so good story anyway, but it's something I really want you guys to hear. It's a real life story, one of my clinical experiences, and yeah, well, now there was a day I was on duty, and that was an exam day early last year. I think that's February or January, on a Sunday between 7:30 8 a.m. Immediately I was stepping in. I have not even taken over from the person on night duty. A case landed. Bam. People filled everywhere. It's just like a community landing. Ah, doctor, where is doctor? You know how you guys do it in the hospital now. Everybody's screaming. I gently walked out. It's something we see often. I came out, I saw a young guy, tall, fine, about my complexion, and he was bleeding from the head. So we asked what happened. They said that he fell down. I said, how? That he was standing somewhere, he slipped off a tile. As he was falling, I don't know, something like he mashed a rod, and he mashed a stick, and the stick hit a rod that now gave him a laceration on the scalp. I'm like, this story is not fixing. What exactly happened? They repeated the same story of how he slipped, mashed a plank displaced a rod and on the head. By the time I asked, the nurse asked, and about 3 or 4 times the story was the same. We said, fine. I examined the wound, and this is not looking like what a rod could just hit. I asked them, are you sure there was no fight or somebody hitting something? They said, why will I be insinuating that? Like, literally, they flared up on me. I examined again. Okay, has he vomited or did he bleed from any, we call it orifice, like the mouth, nose, the ears? I said, no. I moved on. I examined. He has not vomited, nothing. I said, okay, fine. Looked at the laceration. When you touch it, you can just see the depth, and somehow, this is Sunday morning, and unfortunately for our healthcare system, some things are not readily available. Something like CT scan. You have to make calls. Talk more of a Sunday morning, everybody is already off to their church for service. So the little thing we could do then was to arrest bleeding. So I spent time sutured and then arrested bleeding, resuscitated him, and he was fine. By then, it was about 11, 12 by the time we are done with all these whole things. So I said, I think I can now make a call. So I started making contacts, different places, to see if there's any way I can get, even if it's an x-ray, since I can't get CT scan. Luckily, I got somewhere. I now sent them there, gave them the guy's number, and please go and do this. I just need to know what is happening. So when they got there, the guy called me, Doc, I think you need CT. I said, I need CT scan. It's just that they said they do CT scan, and I was glad. I asked them, do they come out on Sunday? They said, no, but since it's because of my call that they come in, I said, fine, since you're here, please do the guy's CT scan, which they did and returned. By the time they were coming back, the guy was now collapsing. He wasn't being, they couldn't carry him again, collapsing, not himself, suddenly slipped into unconsciousness. And that is how we entered second emergency. Well, long story cut short, by the time we were done, we lost him. He was 25 years, the only son of his mother, and returned from school the previous day. Now, the moment we finally announced the loss, story totally changed. We looked at the CT scan and we saw that this young guy bled into his brain. And that was when the actual truth came out. Apparently, they said the guy has been a stubborn child. You know, these family now, mama they talk, picking they talking. So, there was a quarrel between him and his mother that morning. The father was not around, traveled to village, and the mother felt she couldn't reprimand him, so he called her brother, that's the boy's uncle, to come and handle the case on her behalf. The man came, and one thing to the other, violence ensued, violence set up, and between the two of them, the young guy was talking, the uncle was talking, and the young guy suddenly, more like he's trying to fight the uncle. So the uncle, in defense of what is being charged up to him, picked up a rod and hit him. Now, all of them planned on what to tell us in the hospital because they know somehow, I don't know, they felt that if they had told us that thing, probably blame game or police case, I don't know. But it was as they are telling the story that they now further explained that this guy was actually in his final year and is the only child of his mother. Like, even as I'm telling you this story, I'm having goose pimples because this is just what dishonesty has cost a life that is so precious. We are like, we are not God. We are not here to start judging you. You should have at least told us, like, and assuming you told us that this was the mechanism of injury, like we kept asking. So there was a fight. Assuming you told us that thing, it was even there that they equally said that he has vomited and he has suddenly passed through about 2 or 3 times. And these things are cardinal signs of intracranial, that's what we call it, bleeding inside the head. So we would have had some pointers to tell us, like, look at what happened. But they were just playing us around, and it was heartbreaking that it was after the death that story came back. So we were like, let's leave the dishonesty by the side now. What will the family be like? What will the woman who is the mother, how will life be for her, your only child? What will you tell your husband that is not around? The uncle who was the one that hit, what will you tell your in-law? And I'm just trying to imagine whatever that has happened between these two families, within this family, because of single moment of lie. And most, like, I'm wondering, why do people lie when they go to hospitals? Have you had that experience, or have you had any reason to lie? I need to know so that we can find a way to address if it is that you're feeling that you'll be judged or something. Why do you lie if you've been in such situation, or if you've seen others lie? Why do you think people lie? I don't even want to bring the common cases of people who are pregnant and they say, no, they are virgin. That one is even by the side. Or, okay, that's not part of my story. I wanted to give you a different story now, but let me just hold it there. Why do people lie when they come to the hospital? Is it that they feel judged, or I don't know. I'm even trying to figure out the reasons, but let me just hear from you. Why do you think is the reason people lie? Because if this has been more than a year, more than 18 months now, this particular story I told, and it still haunts me. I still feel bad for the family, not really haunting me. It's just there having a rent space in my memory, free rent though. And each time I remember it, I just sigh on the family's behalf, because this is something that would have been preventable. Assuming they gave me that part of the history, would have been more proactive, even when we don't have the instrument, straight up and refer to a neurosurgery hospital or something of that. Would have had more options on what to do. But when they gave us the impression that it's just a laceration from something like that, we felt bleeding was just from the laceration there, and we covered up out of even doubt of, oh, let's do something. That was even why we sent for the x-ray, and boom, CT scan was done and the whole truth came out. Whew. Anyway, that's by the way. Subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed to this channel, and please, I need to know in the comments, why do you think people lie when they come to hospital?